Welcome to In Progress, a podcast to help you grow and learn how to become a better version of yourself. Now, here's your host, Michael Cirigliano.
Welcome, everybody, to another episode of In Progress. I'm your host, Michael Cirigliano. Now, today I wanted to change it up a little bit. Instead of talking about chasing money, chasing material things, I wanted to turn it around on ourselves, right? I wanted to have a podcast episode today that talks about how you can build the foundation to become the type of person that can achieve the success that you say that you want, that can actually handle that kind of success, that can handle that kind of wealth, handling that kind of stardom if that's what you want. Because obviously, you can't just be anybody and be able to handle that. Look at every winner of the lottery since forever. They blow their money and they end up bankrupt working a regular job after 5, 10, 15 years. So you can't just come into money and expect to know how to handle that. You need to build a foundation to understand how hard it is to get there in order to be able to maintain that, grow that, multiply that, and turn that into generational wealth for your kids, your wife, your family. So I wanted to start out with a quote from Les Brown, former Ohio State representative. He says, "If you want to become successful in life, you must follow these 3 rules. Number 1, change your mindset. You don't get out of life what you want, but you get what you are. Number 2 is practicing OQP, only quality people, because you make within $2,000 to $3,000 of your closest friends, so ensure those people are high quality. And number 3, develop your communication skills, because once you open your mouth, you tell the world who you are." So I wanted to go back, right? Number 1, change your mindset, because you only get out of life what you are, not what you want. So that kind of goes back to what I was saying, where you can't just want these things and expect to get them. You can't want the nice car and expect to be able to handle that. You might win the lottery and get the nice car. And yeah, you can have the nice car and the nice house, but how are you going to maintain that? You don't know how to make the money to maintain that. And even if you save all of the money and just buy the few frivolous things that you want, the really nice house, the really nice car, the boat, the vacations, whatever, you need to find a way to be able to have the money to afford that down the line, because eventually the well runs dry if you don't know how to continue growing that money. So changing your mindset makes it so that you understand that it's not what you want, but who are you as a person, and why do you think that you deserve that? So you need to build the foundation, go through the hard work, the trials and the tribulations in order to handle it, because just like every other lottery winner, you end up bankrupt. You can't just come into money with a broke mentality and expect to be able to maintain that lifestyle forever. You cannot. That's why every lottery winner ends up broke, because they don't know how to handle that kind of money, which is why they've never had that kind of money. And the only way that they've gotten that kind of money is by gambling. So it's a quick come up to then turn around and become bankrupt again and go back to working their regular 9-to-5 job that they hate, selling the house that they got, the car that they got, the boat that they got, no more vacations, and they're right back at square one. So in order to actually maintain the lifestyle, you have to change who you are to be able to handle that. Now, number 2, practicing OQP, only quality people. This goes a little deeper, right? So obviously we all know how to pick out quality people, or quote unquote quality people. You could find people with money. You can find people who drive the nice cars, live in the nice houses, live the lavish lifestyle. You can find those people, but the problem is this. If you aren't actually okay with the way those people live their lives, if you aren't actually someone who would hang out with these people if there was no money involved, then how are you possibly going to be able to maintain that relationship? So to dive deeper into that OQP, is a little touch on authenticity. So human beings only need two things in life. They need authenticity and they need attachment. So attachment, that's friends, family, relationships, and all of those things. So in order for you to be happy, you need to have those two things, attachment and authenticity. So with the attachment, you can find somebody out in the world who has the money, who lives the lifestyle, and you can befriend them by kind of changing who it is that you are. And that's fine, right? You can do that. You can put on a front. But for how long? Eventually the real you comes out in a joke. Or eventually, you get pissed off and blow up on them because they're doing something that you don't see as morally right. So in order to be happy, in order for you to really enjoy your lifestyle, you need the attachment and the authenticity. But without the authenticity, you cannot possibly maintain the attachment. So that's why all of these relationships with, boyfriend, girlfriend, 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 boyfriend, boyfriend, whatever, when you fake it to get that person in your life, the reason why it goes south is because they fell in love with a fake you. Or when you become friends with someone who lives a lifestyle that isn't conducive to what you want, but maybe you want it in that time, right? That ends up falling apart as well. So I can speak from experience with that. I have done that. There was a point in my life not too long ago where I just wanted to party, go out, and drink. So I found people that I was cool with out in just, at work or at the gym or whatever, people that I was cool with, but people that I knew drank every single night and got blackout drunk every single night because I wanted to live that party lifestyle. I thought that I was missing out. So I changed who I was and I changed what I liked and what I wanted out of life to be able to be around them. And yeah, it worked, right? So I was able to go out Sunday and go drinking all Sunday. And then Monday night, I was able to go out and drink more. Tuesday night, oh, there's wings, half price, go out and drink some more. Wednesday, Thursday, so on. And I was able to continue doing that. St. Patrick's Day, drinking and getting absolutely blackout drunk with people that I didn't know. And people who talked about things that I didn't care about. The conversation was all, football and like, gossip and shit and just drinking and shit like that and drugs. And I literally was sitting there entertaining the conversation, being a part of the conversation, but not enjoying it. Literally thinking to myself, this is so fucking stupid. And so when I did that, I realized that isn't what I want. That's not something that I can see myself being a part of long term. And so I had to change that. I had to change that entire situation that I had myself in because it wasn't authentic to who I was. I wasn't somebody who wants to go out and drink all the time. I wasn't somebody that enjoyed getting blackout drunk when I went out. I wasn't somebody who wanted to sit around and talk about football or gossip. Like, that shit is so low vibrational and I couldn't get behind it. So when they're talking about, oh, the Bills are doing this, oh, the Dolphins are doing this, I would sit there and be like, okay, cool. Like, I literally couldn't care less. And so I realized that in order to be around these people, I had to sacrifice who I was as a person. And in the long term, that's not conducive to what it is you want out of life. So I had to get myself out of that situation and change my lifestyle to what it is that I wanted. So I had to be in the gym more. I had to be drinking less, significantly less, going out significantly less, getting into, a fight gym, getting into the podcast, my other podcast, working harder, moving up the ranks at work, side businesses. In order to be able to do all of those things, you have to sacrifice something. And in my case, all that I had to sacrifice was ignorant alcohol consumption at a high rate almost daily. So you can't just be around people of high quality and expect to just stay there unless those people share the same values as you. So don't just go find people that have money and be around them because they have money. Because that's not who you are. You need to find people who enjoy the things that you enjoy and also have money. Enjoy the things that you enjoy and also have multiple businesses that they're growing. Enjoy the things that you enjoy and live a life that you want to live. You can't just fake it to be there. You have to find the people that are genuinely similar to you and share the same values. Otherwise, you're faking it. And if you're faking it, it's a ticking time bomb. Eventually, the truth will come out. You'll realize you're sacrificing who you are to be around these people that, in all honesty, if the money wasn't there, you wouldn't be around them. So, how can you be more authentic? Well, the moment you stop trying to impress other people, that's when you become 100 times happier. So, I've done it myself, right? Where I'm out here buying the expensive clothes, the expensive shoes, the expensive jewelry, going on vacations every month or two, whatever, and taking pictures for Instagram so everyone thinks that I'm living this lavish lifestyle. So I was living my life to impress other people. And then in the grand scheme of things, I wasn't enjoying myself. I didn't care that I had the necklaces, the rings, the earrings, the name brand clothes, the $200, $300, $400, $500 shoes. I didn't care. It didn't matter to me at all. So, but I did it to be cool, to be something I wasn't, to fit in with people that I didn't care about. So I wanted people online to see me and be like, oh yeah, that guy's living a great life. Or yeah, he's going on vacations here. And oh, did you see he went on vacation here? And I was wearing clothes and going out, and these clothes that I bought were way too expensive, but I was doing it for other people. I wasn't doing it for myself. So then I had to take a step back and realize that I wasn't doing it for myself. I was doing it for the validation of other people, trying to impress them. But when I realized that I was doing that, and I took that step back and I stopped, that's when I became so much happier. All of the pressure just melted away. I didn't have to impress anybody but myself. And that made everything so much better because I learned what it is that I liked. I learned what I valued. I learned what I enjoyed. And I feel as though people far too many times don't really understand how finite this life is, right? You get one try at this life, and you're choosing to live your life to impress other people, to show other people you got all this shit, to show other people that you're going all these places, to show other people that you know this person or you know this famous person and you were in the same room together. So you're choosing to live the one life that you have, impressing other people. You don't get a second shot at this. So why would you choose to live your life for others when you should be living your life to impress yourself? What is it that makes you happy? Is it maybe moving up at work? Is it making more money? Is it opening up a business or two and making those succeed? Is it losing weight? Is it being fit? Those things, though they're not talked about on social media at all, because there's nothing flashy and fancy about going to the gym every day to lose a pound or two a week, or opening up a business and struggling to make it get off the ground. So you're not going out to these restaurants, you're not buying these expensive clothes. There's nothing lavish about that. There's nothing flashy. So social media is not going to talk about that. But everybody who is successful had to go through those same things. But you'll never see it on social media. You'll never see it being bragged about. All you see are the cars, the clothes, the girls, the vacations. That's all you're going to see. You're not going to see the work that it took to get there. And the work that it took to get there is what's going to build you to be who it is that you need to be to get there, right? So you need to stop living your life for other people. Stop trying to impress other people. If you don't care about the shoes, don't buy the shoes. If you don't care about the jewelry, don't buy the jewelry. You can't just be sitting there living life for other people and expecting your life to be better because you're seeking external validation for your own happiness. And that only goes so far. Eventually, the well will run dry. And then what are you going to do? When finally you don't have the validation anymore, when finally you're not as relevant on social media, you get to an age where all this flexing and all that shit becomes weird. And now you're a joke. And everyone your age has been building something, and you're sitting there still trying to flex. But you work a shit job, and the money that you make goes to your shitty apartment's rent, and then you make just enough to be able to buy an expensive pair of shoes and flex it. Like, eventually that starts being weird. If you're 18, 19, 20, I get it. That's cool for people your age, up to like 30 actually, 30, 40. But like, if you just learn to not do those things and just kind of sit there and work and quote unquote suffer through the hard times to build something that will last you a lifetime, then you don't have to flex on social media. You just happen to be living it. And while you're living it, you'll meet other people living it. And when you meet those other people in those places that you're going to be, because now you can afford it, now you deserve to be there, now you find people of quality who share the same values because they work to get there just like you did. And you'll be able to pick them out a mile away. But as long as you're sitting here living your life for other people, you're wasting your life away. You're going to die and have nothing to show for it because all you've been doing is trying to impress other people. And that's it. Build some shit. Build a legacy, because that's what you need to do to actually get further in life. Not pretend that you do it, but actually do it. And then a thing that I saw online that I thought really rang true when it comes to how people see struggle and hardship. It was a podcast with Alex Hormozy, I believe is his name. And he said that he was talking about building, like if you were to build somebody, right? So if you had to build a human being and you wanted that person to be resilient to stress, well, how would you have them live their life? If you had to build a human being that was resilient to stress, how would you have them live their life? You would not give them a chill, easy life. You'd give them hard times to be able to build up the resilience. If you wanted that person to have the character trait of patience, you wouldn't give them things immediately. You would make them wait, delayed gratification, so that they learned how to be patient when they were working towards things. You're not getting things immediately, you're waiting. So people don't realize that that's kind of how you build yourself. So in order to build yourself to be resilient to stress and to be patient and understand delayed gratification, you have to go through these hard times. That's the price that you have to pay in order to build the person you want to become. You need to go through the hard times. You need to have the delayed gratification, because though those are very tough things to go through, those are essential building blocks to the person that you want to be down the line. So yeah, you might be struggling financially. Yeah, you might not have the lifestyle that you want. Maybe you don't even have a lifestyle that you want to talk about. But you're building something. So you need to understand that you're in a hard time right now because you are building something. And that something is not going to pay off right now. There's where the delayed gratification comes in. But at the end of the line, when you do the right thing every single day, day in and day out, and you put in the work and the effort and the sweat and the blood and the tears, when you do all of that, that's when you'll end up having the things that you want, that you've waited for, that you've worked for, and it makes it that much more worth it. Because the instant gratification isn't real. It does not happen ever. So you need to understand that and kind of sit in it and understand, like, okay, I'm going to put this work in today, and I'm going to do it every single day this week, and I might see a small change at the end of the week. I'm going to put this work in for a whole month, and I might see a little increase at the end of the month. But if you continue doing those things, that's when you'll be able to see the result. When you look back 2 years, 3 years down the line, you look back and you're like, I'm so glad that I started it then. I'm so glad that I stuck with it then, because I wouldn't be where I am today without all that work that I did 2 years ago, 3 years ago, without having the idea to start this, without having the motivation in myself to be able to pursue this, even though nobody said that it was going to be successful. That's what you need to do. You need to understand that that is how you're going to succeed. And then finally, I wanted to talk about this podcast that I watched with Rob Dyrdek. Rob Dyrdek was talking about managing time. So what he says is, you don't need to learn how to manage time. You need to learn how to create time, which honestly is absolutely true, because managing time it's not a matter of managing time. You have so many hours in the day. Yeah, and you can divide it up however you want. And this amount of time is for work and this amount of time is for sleep and whatever. But what you need to do is fill your day with productive things, going to the gym, studying whatever it is that you're trying to pursue. Go to work, make your money, and you're going to keep making your money and keep going to work until your side business, whatever it is, gets off the ground and you're making some real money off of that. So you have to do all of these things. So the only way to create time is the in-betweens. And that's what nobody talks about, the in-betweens. So I know for a fact, and I can say this because I know for me it's true. At work, you're not working the entire time. You have free time. In that free time, consume some good content, study some good material, do the things that you need to do to succeed in the in-between moments. Because the in-between moments, you're not doing shit. You're wasting time. On the car ride to work, instead of listening to some rap music or some whatever music, or maybe you're listening to some morning radio show, switch that to an ebook. Switch that to a success podcast. Switch that to something that gets your mind going so that you're in the right headspace for the day. And then when you're on your lunch break, instead of just eating and gossiping, you can be consuming more content, running social media and finding things that are relevant to what it is you're trying to do. On your way to the gym, same thing. While you're in the gym, instead of listening to music, listen to a podcast, listen to an ebook. People do it all the time. It's not weird, it's just not talked about. So you need to find the time to be able to do these things by creating it, not by managing it. Managing time moves things around. If your day is full, which it should be, you still have some free time to do what you need to do. You just don't recognize it as free time. You recognize it as just, I'm going to do this thing. I'm on my way to do this thing. You have free time on your way to do this thing. So you need to fill that with more of something. While you're in bed at night, instead of scrolling social media, looking at stupid videos, do more studying. Read a book. Something that's going to better you down the line. Because without that, you're not going to get to where you want to be as fast as you want to get there, because you have idle time. Idle time is the worst thing that you can have. So fill your day with all positive things to your future, to build who it is that you want to be. And don't ever give up because you're not seeing the results immediately. Continue working towards those goals, and you will start seeing the results, and those small results that you see, and you need to recognize the small results as well. Those small results are going to keep pushing you forward, and eventually, a year, 2 years, 3 years down the line, you'll look back and thank yourself for putting in the work now. I want to thank you guys for watching the podcast today. If you have any questions at all, feel free to put it in the comments or DM me. Make sure to like this video and subscribe to the podcast. I'll see you guys next time.